everybody, it's Greg from Nexus Property Management. We're here at Nexus's headquarters in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and right now I want to discuss with you step by step how to evict a tenant here in Rhode Island, okay? It's very important that you follow these steps because if you don't, if you skip them or do them out of order, you'll have to start from scratch, which is going to waste your time and your money, okay? Not a good idea. So step one is this. When your tenant is late on the rent, you need to send them a daily alert via email and text message. So what that means is whatever clause you have in your lease for the late fee, you need to start following up on that. All of Nexus's leases say after the 5th day, the late fee applies. So on the 6th day of the month, our late fee of $50, $75, $100, whatever it is, it now kicks into action. And we send them daily alerts reminding them of that so that they pay. Now, if they don't pay, on the second step here, we got to send out that 5-day demand. Nobody likes to do that. It's very intimidating. It's very bullish. It has the state seal on it, and it threatens eviction. So what it says is this. You have 5 days from receipt of this notice to pay. If you don't, you're subject to eviction. Now you must send that. You must send that on the 16th day or after. But if the 16th day of the month falls on a Sunday or a day when the post office is closed, don't send it because it's invalid. You have to send it on an active business day, okay? That's very important. I've seen cases get thrown out because they sent them on a Sunday. They sent the 5-day demand on a Sunday. And the judge noticed, looked at the calendar and said, I'm sorry, you got to start over. So you have to send a new demand, pay another attorney fee. It's a nightmare. So like I said, pay attention to process and make sure that you're following it to the T, okay? Step 3 is this. Once the tenant has defaulted after those 5 days, we can now file the case in district court. And typically, once you file that case, it's about 9 days, give or take, from when you file it until your appearance in court. So that's pretty quick. It's a really quick turnaround. And what happens is this. The tenant gets served by a constable. It's an official person from the state. They come and they say, here's your notice. You must appear in court on this date and this time. Very simple. If the tenant is not there, the constable can still manually post it, which is not recommended, but it can still be done. And then the tenant would have to appear on that same date. Okay, so step 4 is now this. The 9 days have elapsed and the tenant has to appear in court. And so do you. Unless you have a property manager, we would go to court for you, which is a headache. You have to take the day out of work, you pay for parking, it's very stressful, it's very intimidating. You don't want to be there, okay? So, once this day happens, you show up and your goal in mind is not to create a vacancy. The goal in your mind is to get a payment plan. Get the tenant to bring some money to court, if not all, and whatever extra they owe, you're going to want to write out a payment plan that the judge approves. So in most cases, if the rent's $1,000 and they owe you $2,000, we might sign an agreement that says every month instead of paying $1,000, you will now pay $1,300 per month. So that includes $300 of the past due balance and $1,000 of the upcoming rent charges. So over time, it eats away at that balance. Okay? That's what you want. You want to get paid back for the time that was stolen from you. That's what you want to do. You don't want to go in big and bad, showing your muscles, kicking you out of here. Get out. John Taffer, shut it down. Not the right idea. Aggression never works. Calculation, patience works. That's what we execute on a daily basis. So you get that payment plan, the tenant agrees, you agree, the attorney agrees, and then finally the judge will sign off, and then it becomes official. You can't make your own payment plan. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of people making their own payment plans outside of court and then giving them to us to enforce. No, the answer is no. I'll blow my nose with it. I'll put it in the trash. That's where it belongs. Don't make your own payment plan. You can't use it. You must go to court. You must get a judge to sign it. That's when it becomes official, okay? So don't waste your time emailing and getting a notary. It's not going to work. And I say that just to save you time and to save you money. I'm not trying to be a bully. I'm not trying to intimidate you. I'm just saying don't do it. It's not a good idea, okay? Now after that, step 5 here. We're following up on those payments. Did they come in time? Most of the time, yes, they do. The tenant doesn't want to get kicked out. They sign that agreement, and they're going to pay you that extra money each month. But if they don't follow up, we must go to step 6, which is obtaining the execution for possession. Now, the execution is the official document from the courthouse that says this tenant is now trespassing at this property. And that same constable that served the 9-day, the court summons, will go back and he'll say, listen, you got to get out of here right now, or else the moving trucks are coming, the police are coming, and you could be arrested too. But in most cases, we try to give the tenant a couple more days for them to peacefully and voluntarily move out, and that makes it easier for everybody and it costs less for you. Again, aggression with evictions is never the answer, and I stress that highly. You want to be very patient, professional, but firm at the same time. So, once that tenant doesn't pay, the constable goes, gives them a couple days, they move out, beautiful, end of the process. It's not beautiful, but beautiful in the sense that yes, the tenant is finally vacated, you keep the deposit, and you move forward. So that's the eviction process in a nutshell. It's extremely complicated. It's extremely burdensome. And I really do not suggest that you go pro se and try to represent yourself, because I've seen owners do it and they look terrible because they don't know how it works. They don't know the way of the system. And frankly, you probably spend more time and money doing it yourself than if you just paid the attorney the $500 to do it for you. Okay? So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We've done hundreds and hundreds of evictions over the years, and we're here to help you. Okay? So once again, this is Greg from Nexus Property Management, your property managed.